Hi, you're welcome to Success Tips. In this video today, we are going to be discussing about taking a risk. We have a countless number of people that have lost their money, they have lost their houses, they have lost their lands, they have lost their cars, they have lost their businesses, they have lost a lot of things simply because of the poor understanding they have about taking a risk. We have people that are giving out knowledge about risk, and they're explaining to people that life is all about risk, and for you to succeed, if you want to be successful in this life, then you have to take a certain level of risk. While I acknowledge that fact, while I acknowledge that that is a true reality of life, but it is not all about taking the risk. Is not all about understanding that life is all about risk, but there are things that are associated with that risk that not many people know about it. Okay, if you see someone taking a risk, if you see someone saying, okay, life is all about taking a risk, it doesn't absolutely mean that you can just go into anything without knowledge, or you go into anything without understanding how those things operate, and then you just go and commit your own money. Else you are going to lose that money. If you take a risk without knowledge, and if you take a risk without proper understanding of the factors that are associated with taking a risk, then you are going to lose big time. Okay, so now let us start by defining what a risk is. Okay, a risk simply means the probability of a negative outcome to a decision or to an event or to anything you do in this life. Okay, so risk is something that you cannot be able to avoid it in life. Anything you do is risky. Okay, life itself is risky. I acknowledge that fact. If you go out in the morning and then you go to work, you are going to face a lot of risk, okay, before you come back home. Okay, if you wake up in the morning and then you just wake up, you just go to the toilet, for instance, it is associated with a risk, because anything can just happen and you just fall down in that toilet, break your hand or you break your leg. Okay, so anything you do in this life is risky. You may go out to invest in a business, there are chances that you still go back and fall into a risk that will chop up that your money. But now, what is then the difference between a person that takes a foolish risk and a person that takes a calculative risk? The difference between them is knowledge. Okay, knowledge is the main difference between a person that is foolishly taking a risk and a person that is calculatively taking a risk. When we say risk, it doesn't mean that if you carry your money and invest into a business, it means that money will automatically go away. No, that is not what it means. Level of risk, okay, is what makes a difference, because not two people will have the same level of risk for a given business or a given investment opportunity or anything that have to do with you committing your resources to it. Okay, Mr. A can go into a business and then come out with a huge profit, while Mr. B can go into that same business and then come back with a massive loss. Okay, what is the difference? Knowledge. Okay, if you lack good knowledge, if you lack proper knowledge about any investment you want to go into, if you lack proper knowledge about any system you're going to go into, if you lack proper knowledge about any scheme you want to go into, then there is a very high risk associated with it, because the people that are advertising that business to you, the people that are advertising that scheme to you, are people that are looking forward to take an advantage of it, because nobody will go out to go and advertise something without any benefit that's associated to it. I believe you know that people will not go into business with you without having something that they are looking up to. Okay, so it is very important for you to be so concerned about your resources, to be so diligent about your resources, such that you don't just lose your resources to the cold hand of a bad investment, to the cold hands of scammers, to the cold hands of people that are after your resources. So many times you see people just come with an advertisement that, okay, this is a company that sells product online, so you don't need to sell anything and you don't need to buy anything. All you need to do is to just commit some amount of money to the company. They will buy it and sell it for you, while you will be checking your dashboard. Once you are checking your dashboard, you will be seeing that the amount of the money is increasing. You will now discover that after some days, or maybe after a week, you will now see the money increasing, and then to some people, they will allow some people to withdraw some amount, while other people are withdrawing that money. They are encouraging other people to go into it, and before you know it, time is going, and then even the person that must have cashed out will now think of adding more money so he can be able to make more profit, and before you know it, they will just close down and they are nowhere to be found. And you will now be thinking, okay, that was just risk I wanted to take. That is how your ignorance about the word risk just put you into danger, just put you to lose your own money, just made you to lose your hard-earned money. Maybe some people must have saved that money for 5 years, for 3 years, and that is them just losing that money. I've seen someone that sold his piece of land. I've seen people that sold their car just to take part in this kind of investments, simply because they lack a proper understanding about taking a risk, they lack a proper understanding about the business, and that is how they lost everything. When I say having little or no knowledge about taking a risk, I'm not only talking about investing in Ponzi scheme here. Okay, there are a lot of people that have bought shares in companies, there are a lot of people that bought stocks, there are lots of people that bought bonds, but at the end of the day, they lost their own money. There are people that bought farm products, for instance, and studied for a given period of time. They just bought it without having knowledge about that, and then after some time, then the price just kept on dropping, and before you knew it, everything just turned upside down, and then they sold everything into loss. Okay, so when I say taking a risk is not only about scammers, it's not all about thieves, it's not all about Ponzi schemes, but it's all about every other thing that will involve you committing your resources to it. And if you don't go into anything that you're going to do, minimizing your own level of risk, then that is how you're going to lose out in anything that you're doing. You may be even having some money that is saving in your own bank account, and then people are telling you that, okay, saving your money in the bank is very risky, the money is going to lose value, and that you are not taking risk. That is why the money is not even multiplying. Let me tell you this, such people may even be advising you to invest in some things, to invest in some Ponzi schemes, to invest in some products, to invest in some companies, to buy some shares. If you don't understand anything about that product, if you don't understand anything about that company, I will advise you to keep that your money, let that money lose its value, rather than you lose that money all simply because you lack knowledge about that company. Because it's far more better for your money to lose value while it is still in your own hands than for you to coldly lose it to something because of ignorance. Someone may be asking, is risk something that is absolute in nature? No, risk is not absolute, okay? Risk is graded, okay? The risk that Mr. A may be having may be different from the risk that Mr. B may be having, okay? The risk that Mr. C may be having may not be the same risk that Mr. D may be having, despite the fact that they are going into the same system, despite the fact that they are going to the same business, despite the fact that they are living in the same environment. They may be having different level of risk depending on the level of knowledge they have. Risk is inversely proportional to a level of knowledge, okay? So if you have a very high knowledge in anything you want to go into, then your level of risk is going to be lower. And if you have little or no knowledge about what you're going into, then your level of risk is very high. Now, what then can be the way out? What then can be the solution to this problem, okay? Should people stop taking risk because risk is associated with losing their resources? Should people stop taking risk because risk have taken away money from the hands of many people? No, that is not what it means, okay? If you don't even take risk in life, it means you are not going to go anywhere, okay? If you don't take risk in life, you're going to remain where you are because you were able to go into this job that is giving you that money because you took a risk. You were able to grow that your business that is giving you this level of money simply because you were able to take a risk, okay? You have money in your own hands because you were able to take a certain level of risk. So risk is not even the issue, okay? Because not taking risk is as good as the risk itself, because not taking risk is even the highest form of taking a risk. So taking a risk is something that is inevitable if actually you want to grow in life, if only you want to become successful in life, okay? And then what then can one take? Okay, since people are losing money on daily basis, people are losing their hard-earned money to scammers, people are losing their hard-earned money to other businesses, then what can one do in order to be able to take this risk? There are 3 key points I want to be giving you so that once you master these 3 key points, then you can be able to take a risk, you can be able to take a calculated risk such that you will be able to reduce the level of your risk at any step you take, at any decision you make, at any investment you make. The first thing you need to know before you take any kind of risk is to know how genuine that system, and then to know how legal is that domain. If it is something that is not genuine, then you can't even try it from the first place to commit your resources to such events, to such systems, to such environment, to such industries, to such companies, to such businesses, okay? Because it has to start by it being genuine. Is it legal? Okay, because if it is illegal, then you may even not end up losing your money, but you may even end up in jail, okay? And that may be the end of your own career. So before you embark on anything you want to go into, before you start up any business, before you send your money to any company in the name of buying their stock and bonds, before you partner with anybody, before you give out your money to anybody, you need to have a clear understanding, you need to have a clear knowledge about that, okay, before you commit resources. By that, you have reduced your level of risk by a very significant percentage, okay? So after you understand that that particular system is legal, that particular system is genuine, you need to understand how that company operates, okay? What is the nature of their revenue? How do they make their revenue? What are their products? What are their services? How relevant their product is? How relevant is their services? How useful is it to other people that are their customers, okay? And then how well are they presenting those products to their customer? What is the future of that business, okay? Are they running well? Are they having future? Are they having prospects? Are they having people that are good in that business? Who are those people that are associated with that business? Because you need to know the people that are involved in that business, okay? Because if there are people that have track records, if there are people that have track records of knowledge, they have track records of experience in that industry, they have track record of good reputation, they have track record of building that company from a lower level to a level that went up to a higher level, then that is the second step for you to understanding if a level of risk you're about to take is acceptable to you or not. But if you just stop at the first level to just know whether that industry is genuine, whether that thing is legal, whether that business is something that is not prohibited by the government, and then you just go and commit your resources to them, then you may end up losing losing that money, especially if their mode of operation is not something that have a future. That is how you're going to lose that money, despite the fact that they are legal and they are genuine. Okay, so the second thing you need to know, as I've said, you need to understand how they operate. You need to understand who is involved in that business. You need to know how they make their own money. With that, you will be able to know whether you need to invest in this business or to go and look for another opportunity. It may not be that you want to go and partner with a particular company, or maybe buy shares, or maybe buy product from a company that you want to be investing in. Okay, it may be that it's you yourself that want to be starting a business. Okay, you need to really have knowledge about that business, because starting a business is not something that will just give you money automatically. Okay, that is what most people don't understand, and that is why so many people commit their money. Some people even take loan, some people use borrowed money to start up a business, and then they lose everything, and then they come back to sell their properties, they come back to sell their assets just to settle those debts. Okay, so you need to understand about that system. You need to understand about how that business operates. You need to have a significant level of knowledge such that you will not have a very high risk. Okay, as I've said earlier, your level of risk is inversely proportional to your level of knowledge. So the higher your knowledge, the lower your risk is going to be, and the higher your chances of winning. And then the last thing you need to do before you take any risk is to take a bold step to make up your mind that you are going to commit some certain level of resources that you know, yes, even if you lose it, you're going to do away with it. Despite the fact that you have learned about it, despite the fact that you have known that it's genuine, despite the fact that you have understood how the business operates, despite the fact that you have understood the company are genuine and they are doing something that can place them at an advantage in the future, is still not enough reason that will bring down your risk to level 0. Okay, because the risk can never be 0. There's still going to be that remnant of chances that you're going to get a negative outcome from your decision. Okay, so it's very important for you to be able to make up your mind to decide what amount of resources you're going to be willing to risk for that decision you're going to be taking. Okay, and then from there, after you have taken that decision, then you sit back, you continue learning, you continue making decisions that should be in line with what you want to achieve. You continue studying about how your exit strategy is going to be. How are you going to exit this market? How are you going to exit this business? How are you going to exit these investments? Then with that, you will end up reducing your level of risk by a significant percentage. So I believe by now you now understand what it means to take a risk and how you can be able to reduce your level of risk into any decision you're about to take. Thank you for sticking to this video to the end. If you are new on this channel, I will want you to click on the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so that when the next success tip video comes up, you will be notified, and then you will be among the first people to come and benefit from the knowledge. And if you're a returning viewer, I would like to say thank you. Please don't forget to like this video, share it with friends and family so that they can also take advantage of this knowledge and then benefit their own success. Thank you. See you guys in another video. Bye.